Hello, my name is Evan Brenny. Today, I will be speaking to you about the film Master of the Flying Guillotine. I have no real credentials per se, but I hope that my commentary will be entertaining and educative. We open up on a nice wide shot. There is a good bit of wide shots in this pre-credit sequence. With minimal editing and low camera angles, with the centerpiece being the main character, we start off this film with an epic feeling thanks to Jimmy Wang Yu, director, writer, and star of this film. We begin with the title character, Fung Chen Wu Chi, who is being played by Com Kane. Com Kane, born August 26, 1939 in Taiwan, tried to break into stardom thanks to the Shaw brothers at the wuxia explosion of the 1970s. He failed to do so and decided to go back to Taiwan in 1973 to break out. In doing so, he did a film called Dragon Squad, also known as Four Real Friends. Dragon Squad happened to have been directed and starred Jimmy Wang Yu. Through this connection and Com's usual typecast of being an antagonist due to his stature and demeanor, got to get the role of Master of the Flying Guillotine. Now here we learn that the Master has two reasons to kill the one-armed boxer. The boxer is not only a mean revolutionary, but also murdered Fung's two disciples. Taking place in the early Qing dynasty, this film is like a Chinese equivalent of a Western. In real life, this was the dynasty where the Manchurians of the north had invaded China and took part in the ethnic cleansing of the Han, which were the ethnic majority at the time. As usual, the Han is the protagonist, the Manchus are antagonists. However, one must really question this film. Fung is said to be on hire for the government to kill the mean revolutionaries, and even says so during the tournament scene. However, that is not his motive to kill. We do not see his masters telling him to kill the one-armed boxer. This is totally a revenge motive. Does he deserve vengeance? That's up to you, the viewer, to decide.
Chao Fu, one-armed man.
Master Feng Shen, if you should get this message, it will mean that both Chao Long and I will be dead. Carved on the tile is the image of a one-armed man. Teacher, he will have killed us, and he is a Ming revolutionary. We are now setting out to kill him, but because of his great ability, we fear that he may kill us. If you receive this message, then please avenge your two disciples.
Now playing is the song Super 16 by the Krauts rock band New. It is just one of many German rock songs that were illegally used for this film. Thankfully, Pathfinder Home Entertainment decided to pay the rights to the soundtrack. This film has helped the song gain major popularity. In fact, Quentin Tarantino used the song for a quick second in Kill Bill Volume 1. Throughout the film, I shall identify the krautrock tracks used. Here, we finally get to see the high concept, questionably real, and legendary weapon, the Flying Guillotine. Well known to most, this is not the first time the Flying Guillotine has been used in a film. The Shaw brothers originally used it for the Flying Guillotine, and the design was rather metallic. It had blades which were made to sever a head which looked like the Charmed emblem. It was clunky, also, which would have made long-range throwing pretty much impossible. As usual, such a weapon, being portrayed as a heavy object, looked inconvenient. At times it was made to look impossibly able to be slung in the air above the user's head as a kind of lasso. This film shows the flying guillotine more plausibly. It's collapsible, it looks like a hat, and it is used in a more realistic way, and in a way in which it shows that it could have actually been used as an actual form of kung fu. Now, the Shaw brothers made 2 sequels to their Flying Guillotine film, and an independent company made a film called The Fatal Flying Guillotines. Those guillotines were also metallic, but they looked like upside-down blenders. They were also shown to have electric parts, even though it was in medieval China the film took place in. And they went to a person's head more like a guided magnet than something that was just thrown.
I swear that I will kill that one-armed man and avenge you both.
And here we go with Super 16 again, followed by its original version, Super. You will see here that this is the international print of the film, not the American version, which had a title card similar to what they showed in the US trailer. The US version, released in February of 1977, was about 20 minutes shorter, cutting out stuff like little shots just to make editing look more impressive, to actual pieces of dialogue which weren't really eccentric but still served some kind of motive towards character development. Throughout this dub, you will hear some parts of it still in Cantonese. Those are the parts that were cut out of the American print. Now we enter Ching Tai Martial Arts School. Soon to enter is Jimmy Wang Yu, the writer, director, and star of this film. Jimmy, born March 28, 1944, is one of the bigger stars of the wuxia genre. Not out there with Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan, but pretty much in line with Gordon Liu. Jimmy's claim to fame was the film A One-Armed Swordsman in 1967. Regardless of riots caused by the film, it made millions of dollars, and some claim popularized the unarmed fighting genre of wuxia. One-Armed Swordsman would go on to be so successful that it would have a crossover with Zatoichi, Shintaro Katsu's Zatoichi. The success of the One-Armed Swordsman led to the making of the similar One-Armed Boxer. With the latter being more successful, Jimmy decided to make a sequel to it. This is the sequel, Master of the Flying Guillotine. Now, this is just one of a couple films that Jimmy made in 1975 for release in 1976. And thus, this job was most probably very tiring. Not only tiring for him, but tiring for his colleagues. Jimmy was a rather debatable character when off-screen affairs occurred. He was a man with a troubled past of alcoholism, involvement with the triads, and a disrespect for all white filmmakers. He was not well liked by his cast and crewmates for the film The Man from Hong Kong. Some called Jimmy horrible, a nasty piece of work, and one of the 2 worst people I've ever worked with in my life. In the documentary, Not Quite Hollywood, George Lazenby claimed that Wang Yu was basically had no respect for anybody. One could only imagine a bad day on set with Jimmy Wang Yu. Now for the one-armed effect, Jimmy would simply tie his arm to himself and act. As you can see now, it is tied to his front. Another character you'll see, the one-armed boxer's brother, is a popular character actor who has played in such films as Snake Crane's Secret. But here we see the one-armed boxer teaches school, a school that was threatened in the one-armed boxer. Now here is a little bit more detail about the history of the Flying Guillotine. Being true to the film, the Flying Guillotine, whose Chinese name is Blood Dripper, is a weapon that was said to originate from the Qing dynasty. What is not often talked about is the amount of proof there is for the legend.
Come here.
While drawings and mentionings of such a weapon have been found, there has been no schematics discovered which shows the weapon and how it was supposed to be used or built. However, unlike the film, it is said that the real Flying Guillotine would sometimes be dipped in poison. The History Channel tried to make the legend into reality in one of the specials. It was concluded that other than throwing it the traditional way, the only other way to get it under someone's head was to jump over the person, meaning the user had to be a very good jumper. Thankfully, Boom Chan Wu Chi exhibits great jumping skills. Ironically, we are at the point where the one-armed boxer is teaching his students how to jump.
Right. Empty out the stones. Breathe much deeper. All right? Now then, know why that was? Not concentrating on your breathing. As you can see, you've a long way to go.
Now being played is the Crouch Rock track Rubicon by Tangerine Dream. This version of the track is different from the album version in that there is a strong delay effect being used. Interesting they would use Tangerine Dream, as in the decade after this film they would become a popular music group which did film scores for films such as Risky Business, Stephen King's Firestarter, and Ridley Scott's Legend. The track will be played again in a moment. Interesting enough, if you lived in Japan, you would not hear this soundtrack. The current copyright holders did not pay for the rights to songs such as New Super 16 or Rubicon, so they created a whole new soundtrack.
The flying technique. Come along with me. That's all that I'll show you today. Remember it. And if you've patience, you can learn to do all things. Keep practicing. Sir.
Now, when you see the background, look carefully. You'll see that it's actually a painting in the background. It is a good chance that these scenes were filmed on the soundstage in Thailand, where this film was shot. And now we get to the tournament element of the film.